Hey guys, Logan here, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down my top 3 multi-purpose warframes, basically. So, these warframes have particular purposes that, well, actually no particular purpose, without that sounding bad. I mean, they have all the purposes put into one frame. And I know what you're thinking, that actually sounds pretty good. But anyway, let's just get into the first warframe. So first up we have Ash, which are from killing Grenier Mannix. Now it's kind of a pain in the ass to get, but from the time I've had him, he's actually worth it, like really worth it. I would get him as soon as you can, because he's great for spy missions. He can kill anything, and just look at that, he's sending a shadow ninja out to kill stuff. Basically a Spectre, but as part of your abilities. And he can turn invisible for spy missions. He can kill everything, basically. He's a fast, nice looking frame, which is easy to customize and easy to mod. He has no particular status, but so that's actually quite a good thing, because you can pick a status that you want on him. And one of the things I like to do with him, for fashion wise, I don't like to put a sign banner or shoulder plate, because the sign banner covers up this cool spine thing he has on the back of him, and I wouldn't change his helmet unless it was Ash Prime, because the Ash normal helmet looks pretty cool. And the reason I wouldn't put shoulder plates on, because his arms already look super cool. Like, who would want to cover up that smoke thing coming off his arm and the cool design that they have? He's a well-made, good multi-purpose frame that you can use for all occasions, including assassinations. Now, next up on this list is Nidus. So, before I get into Nidus, I'd like to clarify these are in no particular order. These are all good for their own multi-purpose purposes, if that makes sense. They basically go to a certain play styles, even though they are multi-purpose. I'm using that word too much. But there's particular things that are great about these frames. Like Ash is amazing for spy missions and killing things quickly and quietly. And for Nidus, he's great for killing hordes of enemies. That's why people prefer to use him for survival missions, because he can kill crowds easily, he can get energy from it, and he doesn't die. Now, personally, I think he's amazing for loads of other things just than survival. Like, his abilities you can get energy from, and just, well, that basically sums it all up. You get energy from killing things. So if you do energy at max, imagine how much you can do with that. And you see that number above my abilities? That's the mutation stacks which you get from killing enemies with abilities. Like, if you do this, you get mutation stacks as you see them go up by killing enemies, and that unlocks the last two abilities. Now, Parasitic Link I kind of think is pretty useless, but his final ability is good for defense missions and defending certain objectives like mobile defense, and just so let's just use it. So I'm trying to find a place where there's enemies. How about here? So if you spawn it, there's these infested maggots that come out of the place, really, and go out and find enemies to kill, and also kill them while they're paralyzed in there. Basically sticks enemies and stun them there, so they stay in a certain place. And these level 30 maggots go out and try and kill stuff. It would have been a useful thing if that Siren didn't kill her, but oh well. So I'd just like to say that Nidus, all his abilities are for something. They're basically chain reactions, if you get it. So if you use one ability, another ability will happen, and then you'll just cause mass destruction. They work together really well, and if you do want to, well, you use one and not the others, it will still do loads of damage, and it's a non-biased frame really. You don't have to use all his abilities. He's just a great frame. He's not easy to sum up. He's that good. He has so many things he's good for that you could just use him whenever and whatever. The only thing he is bad at is assassination missions, which is why, because his abilities are grounded, and you see that bosses till Regor move around a lot, and you can't seem to stick them to one spot. That, and you see his second ability there doesn't do anything to bigger enemies. It can swallow up crowds, but to enemies like the jackals in Fortuna, or just assassination targets in general on planets, it doesn't do anything to them. But he is good for everything apart from that, really. So for the last frame we have here is Mesa. So Mesa is one of them frames that, well, just kills everything, not much else. But the reason I chose her because she can deal loads of damage in a short amount of time. If you mod her right, she can be used for more than one purpose than killing stuff. But the one mod I like to use for her that helps out a lot is Mesa's Waltz, which, if you notice, her fourth ability, if you've just got her, she will just stand in one place and shoot everything with this ring that you see here. But there's no enemies here, so I can't show you. But as she was walking around, and if you upgrade, well, fuse that mod, it will make her walk even faster. But at the moment I've got 40% sprint speed, I believe it says on the mod where I fused it, and you get it from the Red Veil offerings for the Mesa mods. There's different mods from there. There's for specific frames really, and you would have to unlock them. I haven't yet because I have no clue how, but when I find out I'll be sure to tell you guys. But basically they're mods sorted through for the certain frames and can do different things. Like when I had Atlas, I traded this one called what was it? I think it was called Titanic Killer, which if you saw his fourth ability, then he'd spawn these rumblers and it would just make them one giant one. But the reason let's move back onto Mesa. The reason I chose Mesa is because she deals damage, la da 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 da. But she's also easy to mod and easy to, well, make look good really, to fashionize, should I say. But she's a good looking frame. She's amazing for killing loads of crowds and good for defense missions, which if you use with a Cora, a defensive frame like Volt or Rhino, then they'd be really good. That'd be a really good team for defense missions, and Sanctuary Onslaught, which I'm in now, to kill high level enemies fast and efficiently. Now I'm going to move on to honourable mentions, which I don't currently have, but the first one is Nasia. Now Nasia Prime came out recently and I'm currently building him, but the normal Nasia, sorry, can be bought from the Tenno Lab in the Clan Dojo, which you buy for credits the research, and the parts are fairly easy to obtain. You can get them early game, and I'd recommend getting them as soon as you can. You just ask in the chat, can I join a clan? And surely someone will say yes, and you go into the Tenno Lab and purchase research for, which will basically be the parts blueprints really. But moving on, he can deal quite a lot of damage and, well, move swiftly while doing it. He actually does damage while running faster, so it's a quick frame, easy to get, and can be earned mid game, early game, or late game. I'm building the Asia Prime because if you remember from my Plastids video that I did a while ago, I was using Nasia, and let me tell you, he was insane. He can kill loads of hordes of infested. And just another mention, 3.3k views on my Plastids video, thanks for that. But now we're going to move on to another honourable mention, which is Inaros Kek. He can well, survive anything. He has loads of health. He can dish out quite a fair bit of damage with his sandstorm ability, and his mods from the Red Veil are actually really good and can help him with a lot of things really. And he is good for assassination missions because the survivability of him is insane, and he can do quite a lot of damage. And even if if you've got like low level weapons, he's a great frame to level up those weapons because he can survive anything, and you could just wait there for ages getting shot by a load of enemies, but you won't die, and you'll still be getting XP for those well, weapons that you're upgrading. And I don't know if he has a particular status. I don't think he does, which means you can put any status you want on him as long as it's not weird. I think I'd put not ice on him, fire on him. Ice would be weird. But moving on to the last honourable mention, which is our warframe that I had trouble with getting, well, the prime version, and when I saw somebody play her, I didn't want to play her, but she was a support frame, and it's Trinity. Now the reason I put Trinity on here is because she can help squads a lot with Eidolon hunts and everything. She can help teammates survive really, and help them if they have low survivability on their frames, then it will help them, well, survive. She can help squads do everything nearly. She's a really helpful frame. It helps out a lot on a squad. And from my time playing with people who've played Trinity, it's actually really good. Now, that's it for this video. I hope it helped you pick a good frame, and I hope it helped somebody else. Be sure to share it if it would help a friend, and make sure you like and subscribe if you'd like to see more Warframe stuff. But anyway, that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next video.